All right, we've got AHSTW headman G.G. Harris with us here. You guys were able to come back in the second half after things looked a little bit bleak at times early. What impressed you the most about your team's comeback win tonight?
Adjustments. I mean, we had to make, especially defensively, we had to make some major adjustments defensively to put ourselves in just better positions. We weren't playing terrible. We just weren't great positions, and that's on me, you know. And so made some big adjustments. We collaborated as a staff right before we went in, met as position groups, and then for those guys to go out and basically look at a whiteboard and go out and execute for a full half and really well. That's just a huge credit and testament to these guys.
Yeah, I don't know if, the word demoralizing is probably too strong, but the way they were running it down the field against your defense was not something that probably a lot of people felt comfortable seeing. So who were some of the guys that stepped up then once you made those adjustments to be able to slow down the run?
Well, I tell you what, Logan Heller, man, number 55, he came to play, and we needed him to play well, and he was doing some stuff. He had to play some different positions. And then we kind of added another defensive lineman in there. We moved some backers around, and you go from Henry Lund and Braden Lund, really holding down the interior there. You moved to Jacob Kuhn, a linebacker, basically playing the defensive end, and then you moved Aiden and Caden in the box playing guards where they're having to tackle the fullback every play. And so the box players just really shored things up really well. And then when you got, two safeties that are playing both ways, and Nick and Luke, they got to come down and cover the pitch almost every play. And so really it's collectively, it was a huge group, but those guys specifically in the middle were really big in the second half. And then, your corners can never fall asleep, and I thought we had pretty good coverage in the second half.
You've got some game changers out there on offense, some big plays, and especially in that third quarter, Luke Sternberg, they'd have 5, 6, 7 guys around him. He just squirts out of there. What can you say about his performance?
Well, we want to get him in space first off, and he's becoming a different runner downhill, making one cut and being able to break an arm tackle. And when you see 3 get 5, and if you can see get 3 get 5 and he can squirt out and get in space, that 5 turns into 20 or 80 real quick. And so special talent, we want to get him the ball when we can. But I'll tell you right now, that first drive, when you can get a down block from Jacob Madsen and Aiden Martin and follow big number 69, Henry Lund, Poland, 10, 15 yards down the field, it just creates a sense of urgency out of everybody. And, when you just play mad a little bit and you play that way, and he started running that way behind a really solid, tough line in that second half. And so all the way across the board, just really pleased and proud.
It'd be great to be all sunshine and rainbows and win every game and win every game big. And for a lot of times you have done that this season, but how good in the long run is it going to be for your team to have been down, to have been challenged in a game like this?
Oh, huge. That was the first thing we talked about was, we were challenged in more than one ways. We were challenged as a staff. I was challenged as a head coach, and we had seniors that were challenged probably for the first time this season, and youth guys seeing upperclassmen being challenged. And so it tested us in a multitude of ways. But big thing is we talked about adjusting within the game or within the quarter, and we found ways to do that, especially at halftime, but it wasn't perfect in the second half. We play with a lot of passion and a lot of pride, and sometimes it gets the best of you, and we hurt ourselves a lot tonight, but we learned from it. We earned reps for next week, and so moving forward, this game is something we're going to look back on, like, hey, we grew a lot from that, and now we got to use it.
Kyle Sternberg at quarterback, he doesn't necessarily always have the flashiest stat line, but man, he can hurt you with his legs if he has to. Hasn't thrown a pick all year. Just very calm, smooth presence. Gosh, this guy's really valuable.
Yeah, and what's also valuable is he's seeing things. He's communicating it right back to myself or Coach Lane or Coach Schultz when he comes off the field, and so it allows us to be ahead when we get back on the field offensively. And he's also not just seeing the throws. He's seeing what's the box giving me. Hey, the pull is there. This is an RPO, and we got called for a couple of illegal men down line, which we're like, oh, that's all right. We're going to force him to call that, and so that's just really good all the way across the board. And so the mental capacity as far as his growth is coming is big, and all I can say is the communication that's going across on the offensive side has been really good all year, and you want that to be your foundation when things get hard. And I thought Kyle did a great job leading the huddle and everybody communicating across.
Defense forced 3 turnovers second half, and first play of the third quarter was a fumble recovery. I guess coaches know what they're talking about when they say those are key factors.
Oh, you remembered our interview then, huh? Absolutely. First off, when they're grinding that thing all the way down the field, you got to find a way to get a takeaway. You got to find a way to get them behind the sticks. And we talked about getting guys in the right positions. I think we got them in the right position, and then it turns it over to the excellent players, and they did the rest.
Coach Cass Burkhart's run a real quality program at Westwood, and I know I had talked to him in the pregame. He said we feel like we can play with about anybody. We just haven't finished games, but I guess just if you could comment on the type of battle they gave you in the the gritty performance they had.
Absolutely. I mean, they're really well coached. They run the flex really, really nicely. Thankfully, we got the guru on our side with Coach Holst, so it kind of helps us. But they're super scrappy, and there was a ton of energy on that field and on that sideline, and it kind of took us by surprise. And I'll tell you right now, I mean, that's just great coaching, but you got hungry players. And I thought they really out-physicaled us in the first half, and they kind of just acted like they wanted it more. I'm not saying our guys didn't, but they kind of came out and popped us in the mouth a little bit, and they're faster than what they seem like on film. They're stronger than they seem like on film, and that's a huge credit to them. That's a really quality team that's well coached, that they gave us everything they had, and thankfully we were able to adjust and find a way to win.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck next week.
Appreciate it. Thank you.